Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. So in this week's video, I'm going to talk about my key learnings from only shooting in black and white in rural settings for 1 week. So I'm going to talk you through some of the shots that I'm taking and my thought processes behind it, and also just my general learnings from 1 week of black and white photography. So normally when I go out, I'm generally going out with colour in mind. And in the past, I've only really shot black and white if I really think that shot warrants black and white, if I'm in that position where it's a spontaneous shot really. So coming out to do black and white throughout this week, I've really just, as I said, gone out there with the mindset of only shooting in black and white. And obviously when you think about black and white, as you know, black and white is a subset of monochrome, but there are lots of photos that you'll see in black and white where you are going really for high contrast. And what I wanted to do this week is look for combinations of things. So some of the photos you will see are high contrast, but other photos are me really utilizing grayscale. So what I'm hoping to capture here, and this is definitely a game of patience, is I'm hoping to get a dog walker walking in through, I should say, these grasses. Now there are little paths, which is what I'm standing on at the moment, and that's what I'm looking to do. Now I have my 50mm prime lens with me today because I quite like going out with a 50mm, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait around and look for people walking through. And I think this is going to work really well in black and white. In fact, I know it will, because one of the things I do with my camera is I always set my camera up as monochrome. Now I am shooting in RAW, so when I get them back into the editing software, it'll appear in color. I'm sure you already know that. So it's going to look good because we have different tonality. The darker green of the trees, plus the lightness of the grasses here. And then when someone is walking through, I'm looking for someone to be hopefully wearing a color that's going to really contrast and give me that nice contrasting look to the shot. So I'm trying to take some close-ups of the buttercups plus the dandelions in this condition. And generally speaking, I normally shoot in aperture mode, but for this type of shot, especially in black and white, I've actually switched into manual on the camera. I really want greater control, yes, over the shutter speed, because these flowers are delicate and it is quite breezy. Breeze has dropped a little bit. But secondly, because I really want to emphasize the whites and the blacks. The buttercups and the dandelions are giving me the white, and having more control using manual means that I can darken the green, which obviously is going to be black in this situation. So it does give me far more control. Yeah, I quite like that. I'm working on the collection here, just focusing in on the flower at the front. It does mean that the other flowers are going to be out of focus, but I don't mind that. Now, first and foremost, it's about adapting the style of black and white to the conditions that you have. So during the course of this week, I've had very different weather conditions. I started off, and you'll see this, I started off with a very flat grey skies, and over the course of the week I've had various amounts of sun, and therefore I've adapted whether I've done high contrast black and white or low contrast black and white, mainly to do with the weather conditions, but not always, because in the first part of the video with the the cloudy grey skies, I did deliberately take close-ups of flowers that work well in a high contrast situation. So I'm working on a shot here. I'm struggling really for a focal point. There's lots of small players here, but there's nothing really as a focal point as such. I do like the tractor lines going through the field. And the clouds above it are quite nice as well. And when I put the camera into manual, it does actually give me quite a nice contrasty shot. Now, one of the big advantages of putting it into manual here is you do reduce the amount of editing, because of course I could achieve the same thing in post-processing, but if I'm darkening it down on the camera, getting it as close as possible as to the finished shot, it means that, I can spend more time out in the field and less time in front of my computer processing the image. Yeah, those clouds do make for a quite dramatic shot, I think. What I am doing is balancing out the image. So it's very left side heavy, but again, the clouds are balancing out, and I am making sure to include some of the trees on the right, just so that it doesn't drop to nothing on the right-hand side. So I'm going to take a shot of one of the trees that you can see in the background here. Now, the tricky part is, got these nice grasses in the front, so I'm going to have to stand in here because I want to get some separation. If I stand where I am now, the bottom branches of the tree with the leaves actually intersect with the background, and I like to have some gap between normally the bottom leaves and the ground. So a nice gap there for the sky, which means, as I said, I do need to clamber in. Now, obviously, I'm going handheld. Normally, what I do is change my screen into black and white when I'm shooting. However, when I'm taking this shot, I'm leaning right out. And actually, I'm finding that with the screen in black and white, it's kind of difficult to see what I'm shooting. So I've actually changed it back into color specifically for this shot. Yeah, looks okay, I think. So one of my learnings when doing black and white in this time of the year, so late spring, early summer, when we got these types of grasses, is to do with the editing. So one of the shots you'll see in the video, I brightened up to try and get a stronger contrast, but these grasses and some of the other grasses that were in that shot ended up looking as if I'd taken that shot in the winter with snow on the ground. So I actually changed the editing on the grasses and made them more the shades of grey, the grey scale that I've talked about a lot in this video. So that's it, the end of my week of only shooting in black and white. As always, thank you for watching and see you next time.